All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles, Elder Great Millstone, and Southeast brothers doing this thing in sincerity and truth, done with charity. Now, this came across. Now, the article came out in September, but I just seen it. It was just sent out today, and it's interesting, man. This place is through, man. All right, this place is through. Oh, and Yahweh's name, the Heavenly Father. Bahasham means in the name. Ba'in ha the Sham name. Yahweh Shai's name, only begotten Son. And Racha Kodash means Holy Spirit. It literally translated Spirit Holy. Racha Spirit Kodash Holy. And the title says it all, man. AP explains U.S. debt will soon exceed size of entire economy. And I'm going to read through this. And we get through it, man. These devils really think they can just keep lading themselves with this debt, man. They just think that their economy, that their kingdom is going to last forever, man. All right, but the Lord is finna bring this shit to an end. All right, it says the U.S. government's war against the coronavirus is imposing a heavy strain on the Treasury since America's drive to defeat Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan 3/4 of a century ago. The Congressional Budget Office has warned that the government this year will run the largest budget deficit as a share of the economy since 1945 when World War II ended. Remember, this is September of 2020. All right, because there's been another stimulus thing passed, and they're working on passing another one. All right, with even further extensions. Okay, next year the federal debt, the sum of the year. Next year the federal debt, the sum of the year after year gush of annual deficits, is forecast to exceed the size of the entire American economy for the first time since 1946. Within a few years, it's on a track to set a new high. It might be surprising to hear that most economists consider the money well spent, or at least necessary. Few think it's wise to quibble with the amount of borrowing deemed necessary to sustain American households and businesses through the gravest public health crisis in more than 100 years. That's especially true, economists say, when the government's borrowing costs are super low and investors still seem eager to buy its debts as fast as the Treasury issues it. Here's a closer look at the federal debt and the government's use of it to combat the pandemic and economic pain it's inflicted. So they think that the people are still going to continue to buy these damn Treasury bonds from this government because it's been going on like that for years. But they're not considering that the nations, they don't look at America the same. All right? America isn't that big bad wolf anymore. These other nations are saying what? They're strong as well, man. Okay, this is Joel 2. And it's the third chapter, ain't it? Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, gather yourselves together round about. Then the cause thy mighty ones to come down, Yahweh. And when you go into Jeremiah, it tells you all that been the bow pointing at Babylon to make this land a desolation. So they ready to go against who? America, man. All right, mainly America. Edom in general, but hey, America is that number one target, man. It's Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. All right, so hey, America's hated. Esau, Edom is hated. All right, and it's only worsened, man. People are calling this devil out. These different countries are calling them out every day. All right, I just seen an article earlier. They was talking about they tired of the sable rattling. All right, over in the Black Sea. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Black Sea. All right, and sable rattling is basically the war drums beating, man. All right, threats of war. They finally ready to go against this place, man. All right, but this the one I want. It says 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought in Edom, Esau, Edom, is the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man who's not white at all. He's red, okay? All the men of that Confederate, just as we're not black, they're not white, all right? We're brown, they're red, all right? Different shades of red, from pink to fucking red, bright red. All the men of that Confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that ate thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So these investors, these nations that bought U.S. debt, all right, for one, they're getting their gold reserves up, getting rid of the damn treasury bonds, all right, or looking to get rid of them, all right, but getting rid of the U.S. dollar reserves and getting their gold reserves up. They through this place, and that's a wound that's under this place, man. They ate bread with America. They got in business with this place, but these same people that's been in league with this whore is done with her. All right. It says what we would have healed. This is Jeremiah 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed half of her. Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country. So they're not going to keep upholding America and buying this debt to keep it going. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh our power. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it. Because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. So this place is through, man. All right. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. The prophets out here. All right. And these prophets are coming past as the prophets have said they would, based off the spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. All right. Which means we're at the end. The saints shall take the kingdom. And it starts with this word. Set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So the Lord is doing as he said, man. And that means this economy will crash. All right. The Lord is going to send leanness amongst his fat ones, man. All right. They lived deliciously. They got rich, but now it's time for them to go down. Okay. I'm going to go back to this article. It says, where I leave off at. Right. Here's a closer look at the federal debt and the government's use of it to combat the pandemic. The economic pain is afflicted. And I'm a jump down. Well, you know what? The annual deficit, the gap between what the government spends and what it collects in Texas, will hit 3.3 trillion. So the amount of money that the government is making is $3.3 trillion less than the amount that it's spending. All right. And the budget year that ends September 30th. So this came out. So it's right before the budget year ended. I believe it's called, they even call it a fiscal year. All right. So right now, so basically it was already 2020 fiscally, right? 2021, I mean. So this is still relevant right now because this is still that, let's see, October, November, December, January. Maybe this is about to be the end of just ending the first quarter, or just about to be the end of the first quarter. All right, so it's all still relevant. The debt is huge, and it's only finna get worse thanks to the bill they passed, I believe, in December. The stimulus they passed in December and the one they're working on now. It's going to get even worse than these right here. The CBO projects that amounts to 16% of America's gross domestic product, which is the broadest measure of economic output. Not in 75 years has a deficit been that wide. All right, America doesn't produce anything. I mean, they import everything. They're not doing exports. Okay. The federal debt, reflecting the accumulated deficits and the occasional surplus, is forecast to reach 100% of GDP next year, when it's predicted to keep climbing to 24.5 trillion, 107% of the GDP in 2023, man. You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky if you last to 2023, man. That would snap the record of 100% of GDP set in 1946. All right. So it says, why is the budget so lopsided? And the thing about the deficit that happened back during World War II, Esau still had a bunch more factories back then. It wasn't doing as much imports as it is now. They were still doing exports. So the jobs were created. All right? Jobs were created. That's not happening this time around. It's a wrap. What does it say in Isaiah 19? There should be no work the head, tail, brush, or rush shall be able to do. That's the difference. Jobs were produced off that war. Ain't no jobs happening now, man. It's unemployment happening. All right? In fact, it says, I was going to jump down and read this one too. The U.S. government was already deeply in debt even before the virus struck in March. The budget had absorbed the expenses of the 2007-2009 Great Recession, the federal benefits for the retirements of the vast baby boom generation, and the cost of President Donald Trump's 2017 tax cut. Last year, the debt burden reached 79% of the GDP, the highest share since 1948. Then came the pandemic. The economy tumbled into a sickening freefall as businesses shut down and millions of Americans hunkered down at home to avoid infection. The GDP collapsed at a 31.7 annual rate from April through June. The 3 months. The worst 3 months on records dating to 1947. In March and April, combined employers slashed a record 22 million jobs. And even though it was bad back then, jobs were produced back then. That's when women got into the workforce. They had, I forget the name of the actual image, but the woman worker image, where she's like a mechanic. She got a little red and white polka dotted headband on, trying to flex up muscles and shit. All right, jobs were increased then. That's not happening now. It's only going downward. To help Americans to endure the crisis, Congress passed the $2 trillion relief bill in March. Among other things, the package sent them. We already know about that. It says after World War II, the United States paid down the federal debt with surprising speed because those jobs, man. By 1961, the debt had dropped to 44% of GDP, and then also people were looking at America as this great white hope, you know. So they made deals after they fucked Japan up. Japan got built back up and was in league with America. All right, buying American debt. China was buying up huge American debt. And that's not going to continue happening. They're going to their own lands. They worry about their own currencies now. As we've been seeing over the last few years, like China strengthening the yuan. All right? To strengthen their economy, actually, they devoured the yuan to increase exports for them, man. To bring in more business for them, which strengthens their economy and takes away from this one. All right? Increasing their gold reserves. This place is through. All right? It says behind that success was the fast-growing economy that delivered rising revenue to the government and erased the debt. Okay? Now it says circumstances. I'm skipping down right here. Circumstances are somewhat different now. The economy doesn't grow as fast as it did in the post-war boom. Since 2010, GDP growth has averaged just 2.3%. Let me keep going. I'm going to jump down. Economists have long warned that too much government borrowing risks hobbling the economy. When the government takes on excess of debt, the argument goes it competes with businesses and consumers for loans, thereby forcing borrowing rates prohibitively high and imperiling growth. Another concern is that investors will demand ever higher interest rates for accepting the risk that governments could default on their debts. Then it says some economists And budget watchers still warn that a day of reckoning will come and that the United States will have to curb spending, raise taxes, or both. Which is going to be way worse than that. You know, it's going to come to a screeching halt, man. It says, but after the Great Recession, many economists began to rethink their view of debt. The recovery in the United States and especially in Europe was sluggish in part because policymakers were too reluctant to stimulate growth with debt. So now they think giving out more debt is going to help the growth. That's madness, man. But the Lord said he took the wisdom away from Edom, man. It said that he will err in every work like a drunken. Man, let me just get this Isaiah 19. Let me stop playing. This Isaiah 19. And 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. They have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as the drunken man staggereth in his vomit. They just can't get right. Now they basically shooting themselves in the foot. With every stroke of the pen, they fucking themselves up. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt with the head, which the head or tail or branch or rush may do. This place is coming to an end, man. All right? And that day shall Egypt be like unto women. All right? You motherfuckers going to be scared because this is the judgment of the Lord. And it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shaketh over. Because it's not going to just be an economy collapse, man. It's going to be, as we're seeing, chaos increasing. All right? Uprisings. Plagues. And this is the beginning. This is nothing compared to what's coming. This is the judgment of the Lord, man. The Lord is say he's going to bring this destruction and perfection thereof. Every angle you're going to be hit. Everything you hold dearly is going to be hit, man. That's why these people are saying that the democracy, so-called, is a sham. All right? And everything else you trust in is going down the drain, man. Especially your precious dollar. In the United States, rates didn't rise even though government debts were high. Investors, it turned out, had a near insatiable appetite for U.S. treasuries, still considered the world's safest investment. Their rush to buy federal debt helped keep rates low and limited the government's borrowing costs. So did persistently low inflation. I'm just finish it out. In such a low rate, low inflation environment, the risk of piling no more debt seems more manageable, at least for countries like the United States and Japan that borrow their own currencies. In a speech last year, Oliver Blanchard, a former chief economist of the International Monetary Fund, declared, put bluntly, public debt may have no fiscal cost. There's no problem getting this debt, right? The probability that the U.S. government can do a debt rollover, that it can issue debt and achieve a decrease in debt to GDP ratio without ever having to raise taxes later is high. So they still think that this place will not crumble, man. Hey, but that's not the case, man. This is Habakkuk 2. That's why Isaiah 44 says, he calls the wisdom. Let me get it. I don't want to butcher it. This devil think he got all the fucking answers, man. He's going to just be contrary to the Lord and be straight. It's Isaiah 44 and 24. Thus saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, he that formed thee from the womb. I am Yahweh that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, that frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish. So Esau got all these plans and hopes, man. Hey, that's not going to work out, man. It's not going to happen. The Lord is going to perform these things that are written, man. These things that the men of the Lord, the prophets that we go into, that confirmeth the word of his servant, Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord God was done, but he revealed the secrets to his servants, the prophets. So that's who his servants are. And performeth the counsel of his messengers, that said to Jerusalem, thou shalt be inhabited, and to the cities of Judah ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof. So, hey, that's a wrap for you, Esau. Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And you gain control over the world by violence, man, and trickery. All right? By violence and trickery. How long do you think this day was going to just accept your bullshit, man? And to him that ladeth himself a thick clay. You done robbed the world and then put everybody on a debt-based system. And now you fucking yourself up. Everybody's tied into this dollar, man. They hate you for this shit, man. You got all these world economies are tied into the petrodollar. So when the dollar gets weak, they get weak, man. And they realize they're in a fucking trick bag. They at your they under your subjection completely. They through with it. That word for thick clay is ibadiat. Strong's H5671. And it means weight of pledges, heavy debts. It's the debts. How long you gonna load up these debts, man? It's not gonna work. Should they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? These people smell blood. They seeing you get weak. All right. Plus they seeing more of your wickedness and folly being exposed. These different nations. All right. You'll be, especially after this damn election, you'll become the laughing stock of the world. You push democracy on the world, and your shit is full of shit. All right, these people are ready to come against you, man. They smell the blood. They're like, "Oh, you getting weak? All right, it's our turn, man. All right, fuck it. Let's boost our gold reserves up. Let's prepare for. Let's brace for the fall. They're gonna attack." Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetous into his house. He may set his nest on high. He may be delivered from the power of evil. You set yourself up. All right, put yourself in control. Think you're going to be straight, man. All right, with a covetous fucking eye, man. Whatever you wanted, you just took it. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. I'm gonna jump to I'm gonna jump to 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. So all your glory you got now is time for your shame, man. All right, as high as you were. All right, I'm trying to remember how it's worded in Revelation. Damn. But to roughly paraphrase it, as prestigious as you were, that's how great of a fall you about to have, man. All right. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. All right, you're not gonna be looked at as this virgin no more. This beautiful woman. This great country that helped the world, the police of the world, covering everybody's debt. All you got resources, we're gonna come pay you to mine your resources. Just vote for us in NATO. Just be our allies. We got you. Oh, you're not gonna do it. We'll bomb you. The resources are ours. We'll stage your coup. Now we got our puppet leaders gonna get in business with us. All right, and these nations are through with you for all the bullshit, man. Now is your time to be spoiled. Your debt is finna implode on your head. All your works, from your violence to this damn wicked ass debt system you set up, it's about to come back on you, man. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So you will not be a lady forever. All right, these people are not going to continue to buy your debt, man. This is Isaiah 47:7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou dost not lay these things to thy heart, neither dost remember the latter end of it. You think you're going to be good forever? No. All right, not happening. It's a wrap. And we're in those times, man. Therefore, hear now this thou that are given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment and one day. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. Through, all right? For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. And you thought the Lord wasn't real. You thought, hey, Esau think he is God. He told the lad so long he believes his own fucking lie. But now you about to find out that the Lord is controlling all of this, man. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises. This shit, hey, one day we gonna wake up and it's gonna be all hell out here. Real soon, man. May Yahweh Shem Yahshua confirm these words speedily. And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. All right, nothing you do is going to save this place, man. It's over with. With that, all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh B'Hasham, Yahweh Shah B'Hasham HaKodash. Double honors to the Apostle Elder Great Millstone. And South Asian brothers doing this thing in sincerity and truth and with charity. Shalom, while Baba Ball.